Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Shoppers around the world are bracing themselves for an annual crazy drop in prices on Black Friday. Other consumers are preparing to hit the online shopping spree. Black Friday is an informal name for the Friday following Thanksgiving Day in the US, but in South Africa, it's a trolley pushing and shoving day, and some customers are preparing to go camp overnight at shopping malls to grab whatever they can lay their hands on. And Black Friday didn't become widely known until 2017 when it became popular in South Africa. Initially, it used to be a one-day event in the US. However, it has grown into a shopping frenzy that has stretched over to several days. In South Africa, the phenomenon is by far the biggest shopping event in the year. Research conducted by Black Friday Global shows that 87% of South Africans are aware of the phenomenon, with approximately 66% of them expected to participate this year. For more on this, we're joined by M4Jam CEO Georgie Midgley to talk to us through Black Friday excitement. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, what are people looking for?
I think most people are just looking for a good deal. They've saved up and now they're looking to go and spend their money on the things that they need. And we're finding it's mostly clothes, groceries, and a lot of electronics is generally the trend this year.
We usually see people without shopping lists and they just get in there running, shoving each other. Do they even know what they're going to get? Because if shelves are so packed at 2 a.m. or let's say 12 o'clock midnight and people are getting there running, do they even know what they are just putting in their trolleys?
Well, that's where the name Black Friday comes from, because there was actually a lot of crime and people were arrested for all the shoving in the US. And I think we're going to see a bit of that in South Africa this year too. I think people just like to have a good deal, and I think we sometimes spend our money on things we don't actually need just because it's at a good price.
Which comes to the fact that you are shopping, you're getting the mall, but you don't know what you're going to shop, but everything has been priced down, so you just grab it. Is that sensible shopping?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, we sometimes see that prices are actually hiked before Black Friday and then discounted back down. I do think it's a bit of a frenzy shopping. It's not necessarily clever, wise shopping. Some people do have a goal in mind, like they need to buy a specific electronic and they wait for that day or do their Christmas shopping on that day, but sometimes it's just sale shopping, really.
So what's the general comparison of township shoppers as compared to those who are used to these shopping malls? Because you will see the trend. For example, at the Mall of Africa last year, many people had to come from across town to go shop with those people who are used to being in that mall all the time. So now, is there a difference in terms of the shopping trend?
Definitely. I mean, I think in your more urban areas, you're seeing a much more of a trend towards online. People are trying to avoid the shops and do it via their online platforms. Versus in your more outlying areas, people still like to be there, touch, see, feel the deal that they have in front of them. They don't necessarily trust the online shopping platforms. So you'll find it's much more prevalent in your KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape and Gauteng that the online platforms are getting a lot more traction.
Many people are starting to get onto online shopping, but sometimes are really not happy with the items that they would get. So is it a futile exercise to do online shopping and to later regret because the size didn't fit you or the product didn't look as advertised when you saw it on the computer?
I mean, personally, I enjoy online shopping. So most of these online platforms also have a returns policy, but particularly for clothing and electronics, they're quite open to that. Obviously, when it comes to groceries, it's a different story. So I think there might be a cost to return that item, or you might have to physically go into that store to return that item, but a lot of them are quite open to returns.
Is there convenience in Black Friday by physically being at the mall, irrespective of who's around you?
Definitely. I mean, I think I know a lot of people are taking leave on Friday just so that they can get access to these specials. And they are literally camping outside from about 2, 3 in the morning. They plan to get there. And you'll find it particularly at your big department stores. The specials will be insane for these people. So it's worth the wait and it's worth the effort.
According to this trend, do you think people prepare for Black Friday from January so that they can have a lot of money to spend? Because I saw the other research was saying that people spend on average 3,800 minimum on Black Friday so that they can buy appliances and so forth. And what's happening to the appliances that they've been having all along?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is maybe December shopping that's just kind of moving forward. We all are used to spending a lot of money in December around your Christmas time, and it's all that expenditure is just moving a month earlier. Because, I mean, like you say, it's only been here since 2017. It is a new phenomenon in South Africa, and I think it's one that's here to stay.
So when you look at the trolleys, I would see somebody having a TV screen. And is it because there's perhaps digital migration? So they're getting rid of the old TV, so they want to take advantage of the specials so that they can have a flat screen or so.
I think electronics are definitely on the rise. People want better phones, they want better TVs, they want better computers. So definitely there is a trend towards people wanting the greatest, the newest TV or phone. And I think it is that they wait and they save up and out with the old and in with the new.
Yeah, and we were talking about the issue of prices being hiked before they are dropped down. Is there a discrepancy in that, or is it a question of just playing reverse psychology with the consumer, that you must think that the price has dropped when in actual fact the price hasn't even changed at all according to the market related price?
I mean, I think there is a bit of manipulation of pricing before these events, and I think you'll see it before Black Friday. I personally have put certain items into my cart in online shopping, and then I see the price go up and then it gets marked back down to the price that it was originally at anyway. So I think consumers need to feel like they get a good deal, and sometimes the prices are manipulated slightly so they can get that experience.
Right, now let's talk about bad experiences on Black Friday. What should people look out for in order to keep safe?
I mean, I think just go in there and be wise. You know, I think you have your mobile device, check those prices, understand and have a plan. I think if you're going in there to just go and spend and you have no plan at all, you're probably going to get taken because you haven't actually done your research on what that item should cost and whether it's a good deal or not. So it's go in, have a plan and understand what you're willing to pay.
So in as far as internet banking is concerned, many people are worried about cybercrime. Take us through the risks concerning that.
I mean, the banks are trying very hard to avoid a lot of the cybercrime. So you'll see now you've got the tap functionality that was allowed, that no PIN, now tap functionality allows PINs. So I think the banks are working very hard to prevent that cybercrime, but unfortunately it is going to be prevalent in South Africa or anywhere where the banking card system is accepted. Cash is obviously always king, but it comes with a risk that you can get robbed. So when it comes to cybercrime, I think the banks are putting in all the necessary precautions, but people must just be aware and be conscious and cautious when using their cards and make sure no one sees your PIN.
Yeah, but the problem with tabs and credit cards that don't require PINs is the risk not too high there. I mean, I'm just worried as a person that if I'm carrying a card and it can just be tapped and just like that the transaction goes through, if it's stolen from me, it means that the person can purchase goods without my knowledge. They can steal from me, rather.
Yeah, I mean, they put a limit now on the taps, I think, to about 200 Rand. But still, 200 Rand's a lot of money if you do it 10 times. So there is a lot of risk around that. So it is about making sure you don't get pickpocketed, keeping your bag on you, keeping your wallet safe so that you aren't robbed and that you aren't taken advantage of.
Right. Now let's talk about the excitement of Black Friday. And a few weeks after that, it's Christmas shopping, going into the new year and so forth. What happens in between? And I believe people will be getting their bonuses as well.
I think that's exactly what the retailers would like to happen, you know. So once Black Friday and the hype's over, then we go into the Christmas hype, which starts all over again. So it is definitely the retail 6-week period that I think the retailers look the most forward to.
Right. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, M4Jam CEO Georgie Midgley talking to us about Black Friday.